Hi everyone. My apologies for my lack of makeup, but I was just notified that this workshop that we were going to present in October actually is in conflict with the Gilman Scholarship deadline this year. The Gilman Scholarship is a huge first gen scholarship for study abroad. And so I wanted to go ahead and get this content out earlier since the deadline for that is October 5th. So that gives y'all about 2.5 weeks to be able to prepare for that scholarship if you are wanting to study abroad in the upcoming months. So I'm going to give you a really brief rundown of this workshop and post it virtually to try and be as helpful as possible. So what I'm going to be covering is basic info about how to access study abroad opportunities if you are a first gen student, and especially focusing on how you would actually go about funding those opportunities. What is great about a lot of the websites and programs that I'm going to be talking to you about is a lot of their information is very easy to understand and posted online. So I'm going to be covering a lot of their website information with you and then just highlighting things that I think you should pay attention to when you are looking at those. Also, a lot of Texas Global workshops are recorded and posted online, and their academic advising team is incredibly helpful. So you can definitely reach out to their program advisors and they will get back to you. But basics of things that you would like to know. So about me, my biggest regret during my time at UT was that I never studied abroad. There wasn't a lot of information at the time that was out and that was presented to me myself. I thought that because I was low income that I would never be able to afford studying abroad. There's so many opportunities for you all that are out there now that make it to where you are able to do what I thought I couldn't do. So I'm sharing that information with you now. So navigating Global's website. Okay, you're going to learn how to access study abroad programs in this workshop, introducing funding for study options, and then discussing specifically the first gen funding opportunities that exist for you. So going to the Texas Global website, it's really important to hover over students, and then you're going to click on explore abroad, and then you're going to click on education abroad. Once you get past all of those things, oh, sorry, I've got an alarm. It's reminding me to make sure that I do this. But once you make it past all these hurdles, you are going to be at a website that has all of this information on these first few pages for you. So this is where I would tell you to navigate. Once you make it to this portion, okay, it's going to give you a couple of options of tabs at the top. We're going to start with finding a program. So if you hover over find a program, it's going to give you a lot of different options. Okay, the most important ones for you to be aware of is that you can search for a program by country, semester, language, or study area by using one of their search tools. It's incredibly helpful. But say that you are wanting to make sure that your study abroad experience counts within your major, or to see what types of programs are available for students in your major, you can actually use their search tools to search within your college department or major as well. You may notice that not every single program is listed in the by major section. It just means that there might not be something that at this point in time is fully customized for your major or program for study abroad. Okay. You can also search by core curriculum, by flags, by certificates and courses. So for those of you who are really needing to fill up any of those in your degree plans, you can use the My Credit Abroad search tool, and that will help you make sure that whatever abroad experience you are looking into will also work within and count for the courses that are required in your degree plan. You can also search abroad by internship opportunities. And a lot of the funding that we're going to talk about are 100% relevant to students who are interning abroad instead of just studying abroad. So if you are looking to get an internship, this is a great way to knock out two birds with one stone and to intern while also studying abroad. The next tab on their page is funding resources. If you hover over funding resources, you will find a list of different chunks. Okay, there's a scholarship section, a first gen section, a financial aid and loan section, a veteran section, a Texas guaranteed tuition plan section, and an expenses section. You need to go through every single one of these sections because there are little hidden gems in each one that aren't covered anywhere else on their website. And you will never know if something is relevant to you unless you go through each section individually. As all first generation students, that section is going to be especially important to you. So make sure that you go through all of those. But important to note in yellow on the screen, the deadline to apply for most study abroad scholarships is October 1st. The Gilman is extended through the 15th. And then the first abroad scholarship we're going to talk about later is not coming up to be due until December. So just keep that in mind as you are planning out your timeline for applying. Okay, so if you click on scholarships under the funding tab, you can search the abroad scholarship databases. You can also look for Freeman Scholars if you're a student that's studying in East Asia, but you have to be interning, not just studying in East Asia. Some things to know, it's going to pop up this Global Assist website for you. It's going to look like a shady website, but I promise you it's legit, just really, really old and doesn't really match by modern day website guidelines. But hey, websites are expensive. Okay. Whenever you break down the first generation students funding sources, there are going to be 5 specific opportunities. Texas Global First Abroad. Any student that's in the ULN program, your experiential learning requirement can be satisfied through education abroad. There is also a chunk about diversity abroad, the national organization that gives funding to first generation students. There's the National Gilman International Scholarship Program. And there are also funding resources through UT affiliate partners, which you should check out and look into. You got to go through each one of these individually as well. I'm going to hit the highlights for you now. Gilman is a huge annual funding option. Deadline this year is October 5th. They have application info sessions and writing workshops here at UT right now. You can look at those at bit.ly/capital UT lowercase Gilman. I just went to one of those workshops. I would strongly encourage you to do so. There were so many great pieces of advice that I don't have time to cover for you today. But there are also people who work for Texas Global who were former Gilman application review board members. And so they can give you a lot of insight on your application. They're also willing to look at your application essays and give you feedback on them if you like. So I would definitely encourage you to look at those workshops. Those are happening right now. If you can attend those, they do post recordings of them online. They also have recordings from the previous years. But the October 5th deadline covers any programs that are starting in spring, May, or summer or fall of 2024. If you don't feel like you have the capacity to apply for those things now, there is another Gilman scholarship window that's going to open up in the spring. But those programs do not include as many of the 2024 options as the October one. Because the Gilman scholarship is very competitive, Texas Global actually encourages you to apply for both the October and for the spring Gilman deadline if you are looking at studying abroad in summer or fall of 2024, because it gives you 2 chances in order to be selected. Now, if I were a first-gen student hearing highly selective, I would automatically be disengaging right now. Important for you to know is that highly selective means 1 in 4 students are picked the first time they apply. So keep that in mind. Also, for those of you who might apply for very specific programs that you are signing up for, you might have less people applying to those types of programs. So you might move up in selectability and your odds may be, you may have better chances of being picked. So don't self-select yourself out of this opportunity because you're scared you're going to be one of the 3 out of 4 not picked. UT students are highly picked for Gilman every single year. So give it a shot and give it 2 shots if you can. Eligibility is a section on this site, so you want to make sure that you meet all of the eligibility requirements. Important things to know about Gilman: there are 3 essays required for all applicants. You can fill out additional essays for more specific funding tied to specific study abroad sites. Or if you check down at the bottom, if your parents or spouse are active duty military and you receive Title IV aid, if you are studying a critical need language while you are abroad, or if you are conducting STEM research or participating in a STEM internship abroad, you have access to write additional essays for additional funding that isn't available to everyone else. Most Gilman scholarships that are given out are in increments of $5,000 with additional amounts for any of the extra funding that is available. And 3,000 of those scholarships are given out every year. First Abroad is a UT only funding option for students. If you are a first semester freshman, you have a December 1st deadline to fill this out. You are not required to attend your study abroad anytime specific. You just have to finish it within your 4 years of being on campus. And so this is a one-time scholarship program that is $3,000. They award it to 25 first-gen students each year. And because there are only about 2,500 first-gen students this year, I imagine half won't even be aware of the deadline and half of those won't be applying. So while 25 doesn't seem like a lot, it really depends on how many students are applying. And each year post-COVID, there haven't been a lot of first-gen students applying for this scholarship. So it really increases your chances. Again, awarded funds can be used anytime to study abroad while you are here at UT. Additional funds. So there are additional funds available under the funding resources section of the global website. They are all listed here. They're broken down by funding based upon financial need, funding based upon program that you're participating in, and funding based upon internship location. Some additional funding that is available by affiliate provider. You actually have to go through each one of those and see if you meet the criteria for those things. And those are external applications that you would have to fill out for some, but some actually say it's an automatic match that you are given if you meet certain criteria. So it's no extra steps for you. So definitely check those out. If you look back to the main Texas Global website, how do you apply? How do you go? So if you click on the apply and go section and hover over it, you'll see the different options there. But advising is required with your education abroad advisor and your advisor. And I just went to the Gilman Scholarship meeting. If you're applying for that, you're going to have to meet with a financial advisor as well. So make sure that you give yourself time for those things. Important to note, there are some programs where friends from other universities can join on those trips. So if you have best friends who are going to Trinity University or UT San Antonio, there are options for you to attend study abroad opportunities with not just UT students. If you're applying to study abroad programs at UT, there is a 95% study abroad acceptance rate. So that's important for you to know. And then down at the bottom, important to know is if you are studying abroad with a student organization or for conferences or for research, you have unique requirements that you have to submit when studying abroad. So you want to make sure that you register your travel, which is only located in this funding section. And so you want to make sure, this is why I'm telling you to go through each section to make sure you don't miss important steps that are only in certain sections. Let's see, lastly, you may need to contact people because this is a very quick workshop video. So do you go to the About Education Abroad section on the global website? If you hover over it, it will give you information. You can also click on that link to set up an appointment with a peer mentor. There's also a lot of information for family members. If your family has questions about what this experience is going to be like for you, there's a section listed for them there. Also, my favorite thing is there are a lot of informational events, both past recordings and current ones that are coming up. if you have a lot of questions about how studying abroad can be accessible or possible for you. We have a lot of students in the first gen equity space who are our employees who have studied abroad. So if you have questions, you want to talk to students, and for some reason, Texas Global isn't available, or you just want to talk to someone within our office, feel free to reach out and I can connect you to the people who might be beneficial for you. But I hope that this short informational video at least gives you an idea about where to start and why you might want to get started on your study abroad search now. The sooner that you start, the better. But like everything at UT, having a plan is going to be helpful for you. So if you decide that you want to meet with us, you can, and we can help you through this. But here's a summary of the information of how you get started. You want to attend a virtual information session. You want to attend virtual advising to study abroad. You want to browse the Find a Program and the My Credit Abroad databases to make sure that what you are studying abroad is actually going to count inside of your major. You want to speak with your academic advisor about what you're doing to make sure that they agree that it's a smart choice for you in the semester that you've chosen to study abroad. You're going to make a financial plan. You're going to have to get your passport. You are going to submit course evaluation requests, and then you have to actually apply. It can feel like a lot of steps, but many of them are simple check boxes. It's something that you've done. It is not incredibly difficult to go through this process, but it is time consuming. So again, the sooner that you start, the better. If you want to contact me for any reason after this presentation, I've listed my email. I've also listed all of our first gen equity contact information, which is hidden in my bit.ly link. And then my office is also in Student Services Building 3.200, specifically 3.250. And almost all of this information today is available at global.utexas.edu. But when I post this to our social media pages and to our Canvas page, I will make sure and post the link to the slides for this so that you do not have to write any of this out on your own. So good luck with your study abroad experience. And I hope this has been helpful information for you. Have a great day. And just remember, we're always here if you need anything.